level 1-2 flow. I am so glad that you are here. Welcome, welcome. And we're in a special place today. We are in this amazing Zen garden. This is Nikki Quinlan's beautiful new space. We're breaking it in for her as if she hasn't already broken it in. It is magical. It is so serene, and the fountain and the trees and the shade. It's just beautiful. So as we begin to practice today, I have kind of a question. So when you're sad, do you practice yoga? And how do you show up? So I did some searching this morning, and yoga doesn't ask us to show up happy. It doesn't mind how we show up. It just minds that we do show up and have that consistency. The yoga actually nourishes the physical body, the emotional body, and the spiritual body. So it's why we should practice yoga when we're sad. So maybe you're going through some of those same feelings. There's a lot going on right now. So give yourself an hour of presence. So let's start off on our knees. Maybe in the middle of your mat. So if this is uncomfortable for your knees or thighs, you can always take a block, set it underneath, and then set the sit bones there. And then we're just going to wiggle our way into comfort. You can set the hands on the thighs. Palms can be up or palms can be down. Maybe you close your eyes, gently gazing at the top of your mat. And then begin to bring attention to your breath. And just notice it. Is it shallow? Is it smooth? Taking a gentle scan of the body, beginning at the crown of the head, working your way through the body. Begin to notice tightness and stuckness. But also notice the places that feel really good. No judgment or attachment, just noticing. Because all the judgment is labels. Usually labels that we place on ourselves are not accurate. Begin by lengthening the breath. Big, beautiful inhales. Fill the lungs completely. Exhale, open mouth, H-A-ha. As we inhale, we'll feel the belly expand like we're pouring water into a pitcher, and then the chest, and then the throat. And then on the exhale, the opposite way, press every sip of air out. Emptying the lungs. And then repeat. Feeling the breath. Hearing the breath. Letting the vibrations come through the body. Focusing on the breath. Take a moment to set an intention. What brought you here to your mat today? Verifying with yourself that your intention is loving and kind for you and your body. And then breathe your intention in. Breathe it in through the nostrils. Feel it emanate through every single nook and cranny of the body. And seal your intention with 5 deep, full cleansing breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Gentle constriction in the back of the throat allows us to to lengthen the breath. My intention for you is always to give you an hour of presence. And then to assist you to moving into those uncomfortable spots. Learning lessons about our body, that we are stronger than we think. Two more big breaths. And on this last breath, we'll breathe in through the nose and then seal the lips. Exhaling through the nose. Ujjayi breath, that victorious breath. It ensures that we warm the body, slowing the breath. Building heat. Calming the body and the mind. And the next inhale that comes to you, feel free to open your eyes. You can take the fingertips down next to the hips. We'll take some shoulder rolls here. So press the shoulders forward and then lift them up to the ears. Squeeze them back and then press them down into the sockets. Smoothing out these circles. We'll take 3 in each direction. And then shift, squeezing back, reaching them up, pressing them forward and then dropping them down. Noticing maybe if your neck is tight. And then we'll pause here in the center. Shoulders pressed down into the socket. Left fingers pressed out. Maybe they come out a little bit from the mat. Take the right fingertips on the top of the skull. Maybe tapping that left ear. And then gently encouraging the right ear to come towards the right shoulder. Sitting up super tall to keep the spine long. And then encouraging the ear. Left side of the neck, the scalenes beginning to open. So explore the gaze here. Maybe you look up or down with just a tiny little shift. It changes the pose. 2 more breaths, starting slow. And then release the fingertips. Right hand comes down to the hips and then maybe out. Left fingertips to the skull. Take a big, beautiful breath in. On the exhale, ear drops down to the shoulder and then press both shoulders back into their sockets. Nice. On an inhale, we will release. Reach both hands high. High prayer. Reach up, look up. And on an exhale, right fingertips can come down to the mat. Left fingertips reach up again. And on the exhale, fold over to the right. So the right elbow can bend. On each breath, reach a little further with the left fingertips and find a little bit more depth on the exhales. Pressing that left sit bone back down. Maybe you play that little game of you go too far and then you press it down. You go too far. And you press it down, finding the stillness at the bottom of your pose. Inhale, come back up to center. Palms pressed, my prayer. Exhale to the left. Maybe your gaze goes underneath the bicep, but lifting the chest and the heart. Maybe you get to feel the sunshine on your face. Hope we all have our sunscreen on today. Inhale, come up to center, palms press. Find your back bend, cactus the arms, look up if it feels okay with your neck. Squeeze the elbow points together, chin may lift. And on an exhale, we'll roll it forward. Fingers come out, round and curl. Inhale, lift the chest, pull it back. Exhale. So it's like we're doing a big jellyfish kind of thing here. You do your jellyfish. Doing whatever feels good for your spine. Just connecting the breath with the movement. Last one. And then come back into center. Nice. So if you have a block, we're going to remove the block, setting it down in the front of the mat. Crisscross over the ankles, and we'll find your bum. We're going to bend the knees, ground the heels down into the mat, and then reach the fingertips long. Nice. We're going to grab those toes, engage the belly and the thighs. So maybe you have to walk your fanny back just a little bit, but press them together and then scoop the belly, engage the thighs, and then press the heels down. That engages the hamstrings. Maybe you walk the toes out a little bit. Maybe you squeegee the hips out a little bit. But really focusing on that insertion point of the hamstrings. 2 more breaths. Releasing the neck. Sending the breath to the back, feeling those ribs expand. And then you release, slowly walking the fingertips back in. We're going to step the heels in a little bit, keeping the knees bent. You're welcome to grab underneath the hamstrings, and we're going to roll it back. See if you can feel each vertebrae tap the mat, one after the other. Here in the center, we'll straighten out the right leg, and then we'll drop the left heel down. So really press that right heel up, engage the quad, lifting the kneecap up, and we're going to start to climb our tree here. So we'll do a little right, left, right, come up, tapping the heel, and then we'll come down to the count of 4. If you're like, Ashley, I don't even feel this, you can straighten out the left leg and then climb your tree again. Bringing the chin towards the ankle and then slowly coming back down. The exhale. Up. And take it back down. One more. Inhale. And take it down. Now start to bring the calf, the shin closer to you. Again, you can grab underneath the hamstring. We're going to bend that right knee. And on an exhale, press through the heel. Maybe the leg gets a little straighter. Moving with your breath here on a 2-second interval. So studies have shown that some people do much better with a 2-second interval rather than a stagnant hold. Last one, pressing it away. Bend the knee, pull it in, give it a nice little squeeze. We'll lift the chin, lift the shoulder blades here. Bring the chin into the nose, bring the knee into the nose. Chin to the nose would not be good. Drop the shoulders into the socket. Find your core here. The front of the body is engaged. And then we'll switch. Right leg goes out, left leg comes in. And switch. And switch. Switch. And switch. Nice. So if you bend the left leg, you can bend the right leg on this side. We'll begin by straightening out that left leg, pressing the heel towards the sky. Verify that both cheeks are on the mat. Take a deep inhale as we start to climb our tree. And then take it down. Using that core, finding that transverse abdominis, the abs that wrap around as we move forward to that. 3 more. If you need more, you can straighten out that right leg. Start to relax the shoulders down to the mat, pressing everything that's touching the mat even flatter. Let it expand on the mat. And then we'll start to pull the left knee in towards the chin, maybe even towards the armpit. And then as we did on the other side, we'll straighten and bend. Moving with your breath. Nice. Begin pulling that left knee in. Heel comes towards your fanny. And then give it a nice little squeeze, lifting the shoulder blades. Contract the core. And then press the low and mid back down into the mat. Maybe you activate the right foot. Make a tiny little ball with that left leg. Squeezing it in, keeping it tight. Nice, and on an exhale, we'll release, straightening out that leg. From here, we're going to keep reaching, and we're going to do the little swaps just a little bit different. So keeping that leg straight, we'll swap. Shoulder blades are lifted, fingertips press towards the toes. Swap on your breath cycle. It will be different than mine, different than your neighbors. Notice the different muscles moving at different places. 2 more. Nice. Bend the right knee, bring it into your chest. Left knee comes into the chest. And we'll start to rock and roll forwards and back. Start to get a little momentum up. And then we'll all meet in a neutral tabletop. So if you come up, you can crisscross the ankles. Shoulders above the wrists, hips directly above the knees. We're going to focus on our wrists today because we're going to do some things on some blocks. So if you have your hands on the mat, spread the fingers super wide. We want to activate the webbing between the fingers. We're going to press down into the pinky fingers, the finger pads, and then the ring fingers, and the I'm really mad finger, the pointy fingers, and the thumbs. As you engage those, you'll notice how the hands kind of pucker. Press the palms back down. Those are cambered hands. Anytime our hands are on the mats, we want our hands to engage this much. So if it's the first time you've done it, your hands will be tired, but your wrists will be happy. On an inhale, keeping the finger pads down, lift the wrists. Stretching the hands. Nice, and then press the palms down. Press into the finger pads again. This time we'll lift the knees, covering them 1 inch. On their next breath, shift the shoulders in front of the wrists, knees stay low, and then bring the hips back to the heels, moving with your breath. One more round. Warming up the body from the inside out. We'll drop the knees in our neutral tabletop. Pull the belly button in. Tuck the toes, walk the fingertips back. Toe stretch. So be sure that all 10 toes are facing in the same direction. We're going to need our shoulders today. So we're going to start with that right hand high, bend the elbow, work the fingertips down between the shoulder blades. If you're like, it's not so easy to bind, use the left hand on the elbow. And then just encourage the fingertips to walk further down between the shoulder blades. Take a deep inhale. On the exhale, left hand releases, comes back. Maybe you make a connection. If you do, press the elbows back, look up. And on an exhale, press the elbows back, chest lifts. And then release, open and close the fingers. Left side. Taking the right hand to the elbow, encouraging it. So we don't really want to push or press. We just want to help the fingertips know which way they're going. And then right hand goes underneath. So you'll see that one side is easier than the other to connect. It always happens that way. We're special. We're just all one-sided. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, press the elbow points back. And then release the hands. Open and close the fingers. Palms pressed down. Nice. You can tap out those toes. If you would like a little more on those toes, you can stay in that little tabletop. Maybe you come up lifting the knees, pressing down to the tops of the feet. And then untuck the feet. Find your first downward dog. So maybe it's your first one of the day. So feel free to move here. Cha-chaing out the feet, pedaling out the legs. Let the neck go. Gaze goes towards the belly button. Spiral the forearms forward, just like we're opening up the jaw. Tickles with both hands. Shift your gaze to between the thumbs. Walk the toes all the way to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Find your ragdoll. So you can grab opposite elbows. Maybe you sway right and left. If you'd like a little more stability, feel free to heel toe the feet out so they're parallel to the long edges of the mat. And then just sway. Feel free to interlock the fingers all the way up to the webbing at the back of the neck. Letting gravity lengthen the spine, that cervical spine, just a little more. Take the tongue from the roof of the mouth. And exhale. Inhale, fingertips down, half lift, long neck. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive all the way to the top. Reach up, big stretch. Exhale, find your back bend. Catch the arms up. Inhale, reach. And then bow to the earth. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, we'll step back with our right foot, finding that low lunge. So just verify that the left knee is aligned on top of that left ankle. Come high on those right toes. Maybe the right hip shifted up. Keeping it down, engage the right hamstring, lifting it towards the sky. Take a big, beautiful breath. And on the exhale, left foot comes back to meet the right. Find your plank. Spread the shoulder blades. Come high on the toes, maybe even the tip of the toes. Shoulders will come in front of the wrists. Slowly making your way down to the mat to the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right on time, chimes. Inhale, maybe a little baby cobra here. Little to no weight in the hand. Exhale, start them down. Inhale, lift the gaze, maybe straightening up the arms just a little bit more. Contracting the mid and low back, look up. Exhale, release. This time we'll walk the hands back. The thumbs come to the last rib, that bottom rib. Press into the meaty part of the hands, and on an inhale, lift. Maybe the thighs come off of the mat, spiraling them in. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, roll over the toes, down facing dog. Shift your gaze to between the thumbs. Come high on those toes. We'll step, walk, or jump to the top of the mat. If you would like to step, you can keep straight legs and just tiptoe the feet up. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive all the way up. Reach, reach, reach. Thumbs come through the heart center. We'll fold. Inhale, half lift. Long neck. Exhale, fold. Step, walk, or jump to the back of the mat. This time we'll step left foot back and then the right. Finding that plank. We'll drop down to the knees. Shift the shoulders in front of the wrists so we're one straight line from the knees to the crown of the head. And on an exhale, elbows bend. Inhale, press up. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take the feet out wide, and then we'll walk the fingertips back. Start to bend down, find your malasana. Elbows come to the inside of the knees, pressing them out. So as you press the palms together, press each one of the finger pads together. And then show me your guns. Drop those shoulders down and press. Find that transverse abdominis. Everything wraps and allows chin to lift. And on an exhale, fingertips come down. Find your forward fold, wide-legged. Inhale, toes go out, find that malasana. Exhale, press it up. Moving your breath. Trying to keep the hands pressing down. Last round. Nice from here. We'll reach it forward. Deep breath. And on the exhale, fold forward. Fingertips come down. We'll scoot our fanny back until it hits the mat. And then inhale up, lifting the heels. Find your Navasana. I hope you guys can feel the beautiful breeze that we have. Take a big breath in. And on an exhale, start to straighten out the right leg. Bring it down. Find your hollow body. Inhale, lift. Exhale, left leg comes down. And exhale, bring it down. Lifting the chest at the top. If you need more, you can take both legs down at the same time. Maybe you come up a little higher. It's your choice. 3 more. Connecting your breath. Last one. Staying here, grab underneath those hamstrings. We're going to cross underneath the ankles. Roll it down, roll over them. Nice. Hands come down to the mat. Spread the fingers wide. Untuck the toes down. Ground down into the left foot with that right heel high. So we're going to start to open, stacking the right hip. So as that hip opens, maybe you point or flex the right foot. Press back evenly into the right hand. On an exhale, bend the knee, pulling that heel in towards your fanny. You should feel the hamstrings say good afternoon. We'll make some little circles with the right knee. They can be big or small, depending upon what you did yesterday. Kind of seems like Groundhog Day for the month of April. Lifting that right knee, we'll pause here. Inhale, tight on the left toes. Bring the right knee into your nose. And then set the right shin down gently. Slide the right foot back until it meets the left foot. And then lift that right leg back up. We're just making a big circle. It's almost like a choo-choo train chugging is what I tell myself. Slide the shin back and up. Nice. This time we'll pause at the top here. Bring that knee into your nose, round and curl. Step the right foot through. Nice. Drop the left heel down to the mat. Inhale up, find your warrior one. Palms pressed together. And then drop the shoulders into their sockets. See if you can look up. Maybe work the biceps behind the ears. Feel that sun shining on your face. Take a big, beautiful breath. Exhale, fold forward. Hands come down to the mat. Right foot meets the left. Moving through your vinyasa. Chaturanga Dandasana, open through. Stepping, walking, or jumping to the top of the mat. If you would like to jump, bend both knees. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Fold, hinging at the hips. Reverse swan dive all the way up. Press. Releasing the thumbs through the heart center. Fold forward. Nice. So from here, we'll step walking down to the back of the mat. Rounding down into the hands, look forward, both elbows bent, finding that low plank. Nice, come all the way up to the plank. Downward facing dog. Right foot grounds down, left heel lifts. So as you press the mat away with those finger pads, know that you should be able to lift the wrist. Start to bend that left knee, pulling the hamstring. Nice, heel comes in even closer, make some circles with the knee. 50-50 weight distribution in the hands and shoulders. And then on an inhale, we'll straighten out that left leg, come high on the toes, knee to nose. And then drop the shin down. Maybe it just glances the mat, slide the shin back, up and through. Side circles. Feeling your strength here, feeling your power. And then you step that left foot through next to the left wrist. Drop the right heel down, warrior one. Press down into that right heel. And then find the depth in that left knee. Interlace the hands, look up, press the biceps back. 2 more breaths. Big breath in. Exhale, forward. Nice, left foot to the right. Find that plank. High on the toes, shoulders shift forward, moving through more chaturanga. Pausing here. Start to walk the toes up towards the fingertips. And then drag the back of the fingernails along the mat. Come up, find your chair. Find that depth. So zip the legs up here. Squeeze the ankles, the knees, the thighs, and then sit back as if you're actually going to sit in a chair. It's Thursday. I think we're having a little wine spritzer daily now. It's not Friday, so we're woohoo. So we want to sit in a chair, not a bar stool. Maybe you lift the toes. Nice. Deep inhale here. On the exhale, come high on the toes. Let the palms come back. Squeeze the palms together. Lift the pinkies. Inhale, drop the heels, look up, staying in that depth. Exhale, fold, reaching back. Arrow arms. Inhale, come up. Last one. Nice, keeping those hands back. We'll drop the heels, come forward, interlace the hands, shoulder stretch. So if you'd like, you can bend that right knee. Working the palms together, interlacing all the way up to the webbing.
And then on an exhale, release the hands. We'll walk hand over hand over towards the right. So grab whatever's accessible on that right leg. Inhale back to center. Deep bend in the left knee. Walk hand over hand over to the left. Keep the tongue from the roof to mouth. Shake the head, yes. No, and then walk it back into center. Deep inhale. On the exhale, we'll round down into the hands, jump it back, or step it back, find that low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Bring heels and toes to touch. Right heel lifts. Rest that mat away. Come high on those left toes. Right knee comes to the right elbow. And then to the right wrist. Up and down. Left elbow. Left wrist. Up and back. This time it'll come to that right wrist. Left wrist. Right wrist. Left wrist, press it up and back. Shift your gaze to the right thumb, step the right foot through. From here, we're going to come into our warrior two. So drop that left heel, come all the way up. Reaching in opposition. So if your feet didn't land just perfect, just move on. It's just yoga. On each exhale, find a little bit more depth in the right knee. Straightening out the left leg, press through the left heel, and then squeeze the heels together, energetically lighting up the inside of our thighs. Big breath in. Exhale, reverse warrior two. Left hand comes down, right hand reaches. That left hand can trickle its way down to the left heel. Send your breath to the right side body. Feel the wrist expand. And then contract. Come back to your warrior two. We're going to cartwheel those hands down. Right foot meets the left. Hold your plank. Moving through your vinyasa. All the way up and through to the tops of the feet. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left heel lifts. Bring that left knee into the nose. And then to that left elbow, left wrist, up and back. Release right elbow, right wrist, up and back. Left wrist, right wrist, left, right, up and back. Step the left foot through. Low lunge, right heel drops down. Warrior two. So find your perfect stance here. And then find that down. Press into the pinky edge of the right foot, lifting the right sole. It takes pressure off of the left knee. All about longevity. And then find that down again. Taking your attention to the left knee, nothing in the lower body moves. Reverse. Dropping the right shoulder down. Gaze can go towards the heel or towards the fingers. It's whichever feels better for your neck. One more breath. Inhale down for two. Nice one. Cartwheel those hands down. Come high on those right toes. Left foot meets the right. Find your plank. Moving through your vinyasa. High on the toes. Elbows bend. Inhale up and through. Exhale. Bringing heels and toes to touch. Right heel lifts. Press the mat away. And then bring that right knee into your chest. As you press the mat away, we're going to step the right foot through. Nice. From here, we'll come up, crescent lunge. Twist them towards the right. Find your water wheel. Right hand comes back, left hand comes forward. So my right hip just popped up. So I'm going to drop it back down, come out of the pose a little bit, keeping it where it's supposed to be, and then retwist. Reaching the hands in opposition, drop those shoulders. One more breath. And then reverse. Right hand drops down. The fingertips can come to that right hamstring. You can look up or down. Nice. We're going to cartwheel the hands all the way back down to the mat. Right foot sets back to plank. You're welcome to take a chaturanga or a trianga, keeping the right heel lifted. Inhale, exhale, elbows bend up and through. Lead with that right hip as we take it all the way back. Three-legged. Right foot beats the left. Left heel lifts. Let's bring that left knee into the nose. Step it through. Come up, find your crescent lunge. Reach. We'll twist open towards the left. Find that water wheel. Gaze goes back towards the left hand. With each breath, refining the pose. Reaching more. Maybe you can straighten out that right leg here. And then reverse left hand comes down right. Back to your breath. Back to that intention. Send your energy towards your intention. Inhale back to water wheel. Cartwheel the hands down. Make your choice, chaturanga, trianga, or skip it all. We'll just meet back in downward facing dog. Left foot meets the right. We're gonna start to walk the fingertips back towards the feet, maybe a foot and a half. So we're in a short downward facing dog. If you have your blocks, this is a great time to use them. So ground the palms of your hands down into the blocks or into the mat. And we're gonna start to look at some jump throughs. We've been working on that transverse abdominis. So from here, we're gonna bend our knees. Maybe we cross the ankles, but as we press the mat away, we're gonna see if we can just hover here. So you can take the knees down and then see, yeah, good job, yeah. Really wrapping everything in. So we have strong arms, we're yogis. We wanna work on that strong core, pull everything up and in. So I'm even gonna shift to a higher block here, pressing everything down, and then lift everything in. Two more. Inhale, press down. Exhale, lift. Bring it down, last one. Down and lift. 5, 4. Oh, I like the rock. 3, 2, 1. Bring the feet forward. Sorry, I skipped it. I should have said it earlier. And then drop the hips. Keeping your blocks right where they are. We're going to work on some hips here. Preparing for our L-sit. So as we press down into the blocks on the inhale, on the exhale, maybe you straighten out the legs. Let the hips come back. Maybe the toes lift and bring it back down. So it's not important that the toes lift. The important thing is pulling those hips back. Wrists are killing. So feel free to straighten out the wrists, open and close. When you press into those blocks, really press into the fingertips. Just see if that helps me. Take an inhale, press it away, press into the finger pads, lift the hips back. Fingertips, fingertips, fingertips. And then drop it down. Shake it out. So one last time, but this time we're going to bend the knees. Deep inhale. Press it away as we bend those knees. See if we can bring a little tuck. And then just get just right there. That's it. Nice. Lift the hips. Walk the fingertips back. Make some little figure eights with your wrists here. Inhale, half lift. Long neck. Hands come to the shins and forward. Walk those fingertips back out. Downward facing dog. Press into that left heel, right heel lifts. Exhale, step the right foot through a lunge. Press down into that left hand. Right hand can come to that right hip. We're going to take a big step back with the right foot. Maybe the feet stack. And if they're stacked, we're going to take the right foot and step it behind. And then press the hips up. Maybe the right hand reaches. Maybe the bicep comes next to the ear. If you would like a little more, make some little rainbows with that right foot. Coming up and over. Last one. Nice. Right hand comes back down to the mat. Press it back, downward facing dog. Right heel lifts. Knee to nose, step it through. Beautiful. Come up. Warrior two. And then reverse. Inhale back, warrior two. Cartwheel those hands down. Come high on the left toes. This time we're going to lift the left heel, find your standing splits. So as the head drops, shift your gaze down, maybe the heels lift. You can take your right hand to the back of the calf if you would like. Use it as a letter arm to lift the heel even higher. Come back to your breath. And then release both fingertips down to the mat. Start to pull the left heel in. This is a hamstring curl. Bend the knee. Pull the knee into your chest. Engage the core. If you can come up one-legged Tadasana. Resettle here. So you're welcome to take the right hand on the outside of that left knee. And then start to work the left hand coming back. This is modified dancing with Shiva. If you need more, take the right hand to the outside of the foot. Gaze goes towards the left hand. Drop the shoulders down. Find that transverse abdomen. Get really, really strong. Deep inhale. Exhale. See if you can release the foot, keeping the pose. And then drop it down. Find your standing splits. Step the left foot back. Low lunge. Right foot meets the left. Chaturanga or Trianga. Exhale. Right heel grounds, left heel lifts. Nice. Bring that left knee into the nose. Step it through. Find your warrior two. And then reverse. Flowing here, moving with your body and breath. And you'll bring it back up. Pull the hands down. Right heel lifts. Starting to find your standing splits. So left hand can come to the back of the calf. Gaze goes towards the shin. Pressing through the left heel. Reach the right heel even taller. So this is the gateway that comes into our handstands. The higher we can lift that right leg, the less effort it takes to hop up in the handstand. One more breath. Hold further. And start to bend that right knee. Pull the heel in. Both sets of fingertips down to the mat. Pull the belly in. Round the spine. See if you can bring the right knee in. Come all the way up. One-legged Tadasana. Find your foundation. Left hand either to the outside of the right thigh or to the outside of that right foot. Start to straighten out that right leg as you reach the hands back. Staying with the breath, staying with that intention. And then for one breath, see if you can release. Fill your lungs. And as you empty them, find that standing split. So right foot comes all the way down and through. Beautiful. We'll step the right foot to the back of the mat. Left foot to the back of the mat. And since I forgot it on the other side, we're going to do our side plank work. So tilting towards the pinky edge, knife edge of that right foot, lift the left hand. Press the hips up. You can let that bicep come next to your ear. So feel free to stay here, lifting, working your obliques. If you'd like more, step the left foot back. And then find your rainbow. Tapping in front and behind of the right foot with the left toe. Slowly rolling it back down to your hands. We'll drop down to the left forearm and then right forearm. Gaze up, look at the thumbs. Press the mat away with the forearms. We'll tiptoe the feet in. Find your dolphin pose. So really press the mat away with the forearm. If you need more in your dolphin, see if you can walk the tippy toes in a little bit more. Maybe you lift one leg. Maybe you lift the other leg. If forearm stand is in your practice, feel free to go. I will not be joining you. Bring both toes down, walk the toes back out. Find your low plank. Start to lift that right elbow, come on to the left pinky edge of the feet. Reach those hips up. And then on exhale, right elbow meets left elbow. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Nice folding, pausing with both elbows down, and then reset the right forearm. Come back to the center, shift over to the left. Left elbow taps right elbow. Last one. Pause here on our low plank. Press into the hands. So see if you can press into the hands. Maybe you straighten out one arm. Maybe you straighten out two arms. Maybe you straighten them both out at the same time. And then walk the toes in, finding your downward facing dog. Nice, walking the fingertips back about 2 feet. Find your blocks. We're gonna see if we can jump it through this time. So hands are pressed on the blocks. Engage the finger pads. Come high on the toes. So we're gonna do similar to what we did previously. We're gonna bend the knees, pull the knees in. See if we can shift the hips forward, set our thumb down. Nice, good job. Set those blocks out to the side, and then we're gonna pull the right knee in. So take one hand spacing from the right leg, from the left leg. Give it a nice squeeze with your right arm. Sit up super tall, drop the shoulders down. And then release that right arm. Reach it tall. Take a big, beautiful breath. Exhale, fold forward. Moving into the space we created in the lunge. Right hand comes behind and binds. Maybe that left hand comes behind and binds. So if you don't get the bind, it's okay. You can still be a good person and nice to your neighbors and dogs. It just means you have tight hamstrings and shoulders. Flex the left foot. If you have that bind, start to spiral the chest over the left. Opening up, take a big breath here, fill your lungs. And on the exhale, see if you can twist a little deeper. Nice release. Ooh, take those hands to the blocks. Inhale, press down. Exhale, see if you can lift everything. Cross the left ankle in front of the right. See if it comes back. Mine does not, but it'll get there. We're gonna do that same thing on the left. Press into the blocks, high on the toes. Feel free to bend the knees, or maybe you start with the legs a little straighter. Deep inhale, little hop. Bring it down. Left heel in, right heel out. Make a space. We want both sit bones down onto the mat. If it comes in, the knee starts to go out, so we want some space there. But pull the heel in tight. Give it a nice hug. Take the right fingertips out to the side and then release the left hand, big breath in. Flexing the right toes on your exhale, fold forward. Wrapping the left hand. Maybe the right hand grabs it. And then we'll spiral open towards the right. If you have that bind, press it down, lifting the collarbone, lifting your heart. One more breath. And then exhale, see if you can twist a little bit deeper. It's a wonderful opportunity to find a little more space. And then release. Nice. Bring those hands to the blocks. Inhale, press. Exhale, cross it, and maybe step it back. One of these days, we'll get it. Inhale, half lift. Start to walk the hands out to your downward facing dog. Right heel lifts. Exhale, bring the knee into the nose and then set the shin down on the mat. Find your pigeon pose. Take a peek over the left shoulder. Be sure that those left toes are playing on the right team. They're all straight in one straight line. And then lift your chest. If you would like, you can interlace the hands behind the lower back. Get really strong in that pelvic area. Lift your chest. And then exhale, fold it forward. You're welcome to stop the interlace and walk it down to your forearms. We want the head to rest on something. The nervous system doesn't know the difference whether the forehead is resting on the mat or a block, wrists. It just knows it's resting, and so it releases the hamstrings. It says everything is safe. See if you can soften somewhere. Focusing on your breath. On each exhale, see if you can release. When we stay in those long, slow breaths, it allows that parasympathetic nervous system to take over. When we breathe longer, it's a little cue to your body to go into that stay and play and not the fight or flight. Breathing deeper. This is the place where we can release trauma, forgive others, and forgive ourselves. On an inhale, slowly start to look up. Walk the hands back down underneath the shoulders. From here, we're going to tuck the left toes. Engage that left leg, lift the knee, press up through the hands, pull the right knee in, step it back, three-legged, and then right foot lifts the left. Ooh, that feels good. Left heel lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. Press the shin down into the mat. Find your pigeon. Walk the fingers to the step. Take a peek at that right foot. So my toes love to sickle in. Maybe yours do too. We just want that straight. We want everything in alignment. If you'd like to interlace the hands, and then find that pelvic floor, find that transverse abdominis. Everything gets super strong. See if you can lift the chin, big breath in. And when you're ready, start to fold forward. Forearms can come down, forehead comes down. Melting the upper body down to the mat. Take the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Lengthening the exhales and clearing the mind. On the next inhale that comes to you, if it feels right, start to walk the fingertips back. Nice, we're going to slide onto our left cheek. And then bring that right leg all the way around. Press both heels down into the mat. You can set the blocks aside. Bring the soles of the feet together. Knees come out, grabbing whatever is accessible for you, maybe ankles, shin, knees, thighs. And then pull the chest through. Drop the shoulders down into their sockets. Lift the heart. The shoulder blades feel like they're coming around, pressing the back of the heart so the front can open. You can Deep breath in. Exhale, fold forward. Contracting the core. Chin comes down. Enjoy the stretch of the back of the neck. And on an inhale, slowly rolling it back up. Take the fingertips to the outside of the knees. Bring them in. Heels pressed down, engaging those hamstrings. Reach, reach, reach. We're going to tilt it back until you feel the core engage. And as soon as you feel that tightness, lift the chest like I pulled a string from the middle of your boobs. And then maybe those heels lift. Reach those fingers even further. Keeping the legs where they are, start to roll it back down. So we're going to contract the core, slowly melting down. Ooh, it's hard. And then stopping right as those shoulder blades tap. Press the heels away. Low back, mid back presses into the back. So as soon as the low back comes off, that's where we stop. Finding this set point. If it's too much on your neck, you can drop the head back, no worries. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths. Deep inhale, exhale, everything contracts. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, pressing the heels away, maybe just a ½ inch more, last breath. Slowly bring the heels down to the mat. Reach the biceps by the ears. Big breath in. And then windshield wiper the knees, right and left. Whatever feels yummy for you. We'll take the arms out wide, making the letter T with the hands. And then when the knees pause on the right-hand side, you can stack the left knee on top of the right. You can also eagle wrap it. And then relax into the supine belly twist. On each exhale, think, look where you want to go. Stretch long in the spine and then twist. On the next inhale, release that left foot. High the eagle, and then drop the knees over to the left. Same thing, stack the right knee or eagle wrap it. Gaze can go over that right foot. Those chimes are right on cue. And then bring it back to the center. Knees again across. I'm going to come into a shoulder stand. So hands pressed down next to the hips. Start to bring the knees and hips in. Lift the hips. You can walk the hands up the lower back. So if you'd like to take a half shoulder stand, the L's of the hands, thumbs and pointy fingers come to the chest. Knees can stay bent. If you need more, full shoulder stand, engage, spiral the thighs inwards, walk the hands towards the shoulder blades. Feel the energy zing at the top of your toes. Engage that transverse abdominis, wrapping everything, making everything super still, stopping the wobble wobble. One more breath. And then exhale. If you'd like to move into Halasana, start to bend, hinging if it gets stuck with toes behind the head. If you'd like, you can interlace the hands, press those triceps down into the mat. If you'd like to take deaf man's pose, separate the knees, bend the knees, bring the knees towards the shoulder. Come back to cool breath. And when you're ready, slowly making your way out, just as mindfully as you came in, all the way back down, moving into your final shavasana. So for me, it doesn't always feel good to have my lower back flat on the mat. So I take my feet wide, that's with this. Allow the knees to flatten on one another. Fingertips down to the mat. And then release your breath. Maybe you lift your head here and then find some length in the spine and neck, pressing through the heels of the lower back. And then relax everything. Let the muscles and the bones get super heavy. Releasing the bridge of the nose and the chin. Maybe you stick the tongue out. Release the eyelids and the temples. Loosening the neck. Letting go of the shoulders and elbows, wrists and fingers. Relaxing the hips, knees, the ankles, finding that stillness. Try to stay in Shavasana until I have 3 releases, 3 big sighs, 3 shifts, whatever it is for me. Stay as long as it's good for you. Maybe bring the knees in, give them a nice little squeeze, and roll on to the right hand side. Little fetal position, knees into the chest, flip the biceps, rest, and hold your head. Take a few cleansing breaths here. Noticing how you feel. When you're ready, use that left hand to press yourself up into a seated position using as little effort as possible. I thank all of you so much for joining us today in this pristine Zen garden. I don't think I've ever been so blessed to be in such a beautiful place with the trees and the bells, the prayer flags, the gorgeous colors in the fountain. Just bathe your body in that gratitude.
certainly helped my sadness. We're all on this journey together to find our authentic self, who we are. Welcome to your authentic self. Thank you for taking the time, the self-care to nourish your authentic self and allowing it to thrive. Namaste. Thank you all so very much. We'll see you again soon. Oh, no, that's nothing.
I thought they were like,
Okay.
you know, my window.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. So when the bird pooped right on my mat, like in the first 2 seconds, I started to laugh and I'm like, just don't say anything. I'm like, the bird's eating the berries. Yeah. Are they gone? Yeah, they're gone. Yeah. I was like, I love it. It's all nice and blue. Good, healthy birds eating the blueberries.
All right, let's see how we did.